Hey guys, and welcome to the Lazy Lemon Creations podcast. My name is Lindsay. You can find me on Instagram as Lazy Lemon Creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as Lazy Lemon. This is my podcast, all about my knitting and crochet, cross-stitch, crafty thing that I happen to get into it. So, let's get into it. I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our 2 kids. It is Friday, August 21st, 2026. And everybody is out of the house. The husband's at work, the kids are at school, and I am sitting down to record this podcast after a couple of errands have already been taken care of this morning. So, let's jump into this. It's going to be a quick and easy episode, I hope, and I'll get this uploaded later today. So, first up, we're going to talk about the finished objects that I have done since the last episode. And there are none, because I haven't been working on them. I have actually taken on a lot more babysitting and therefore not been doing much except for a little bit here and there in the afternoons, and that is okay. Life is not meant to be all about our hobbies. It's a good balance. So let's get into the whips that I have. Then that's where you'll see the fun that I've been having. Whoop. So the first whip that I have is in my Christmas bag from Mountain State Stitches. It is, I want to say they're poinsettias, but I could be wrong. I really don't know. But this bag has my Freckled Whimsy yarn. And there's her tag. I get the Christmas Club. This is the year 2. I get 75-25 base, which is Serendipity. This colorway is called Stocking Stuffers, and it is a 6-stripe repeat. And there's that tag for it. So, for this, I have one sock fully completed. Let me see if I can get that out of the bottom of the bag. So, I have one sock here completely done. I have blockers somewhere close by. I just don't see them. But this is the sock. And it's 2 pinks, a blue, same 2 pinks, and a green. And then it just repeats over and over for the entire sock. And I have, you can tell by my stitch markers that I have over here, which you guys cannot see at all until I change the sock, is I only have about 40 rows left of the second sock until I'm done. So I am through the heel flap and gusset, which I'll show you guys here in a second, but this is the first sock, and this contrast heel, toe, and cuff is not my bare yarn from Nomad. This is the mini that came with the yarn. I don't know if it's going to show up very well, but there is a very, very slight pink hue to it for this colorway. And this is the second sock that I have. See, my heel flap, gusset, already done. I am working just the foot of the sock now all the way to the end till I can get to the toe. And it will be completed hopefully before tomorrow, because I cast these socks on pretty late in the month of August. I actually waited until the 15th, which was this past Saturday, before I cast them on, and did the first sock in like 4 days. And so I'm hoping to get the second sock done within about 4 days and get it all wrapped up in about a week and a day's time. So for my socks, I knit them on, actually, I've got it right here. Haha. I knit them on ChiaoGoo red lace, a 32-inch cable, and a 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle. No. So that is how I knit my socks. This is not the right sticker for that. Ignore this sticker, because that's completely incorrect. This is a size 6, so this doesn't even belong in this bag. I don't even know what this goes to. I'm not knitting anything on a size 6 right now. Am I? No, I'm not. This is my only knitting project outside of my other muscle book. Anyway, ignore this, but I do use ChiaoGoo. I do use red lace needles. I use a 32-inch circumference for the cable. And this needle is a 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle. That's what I knit with. That is my go-to size. And for some reason, I have size 6s in my bag. So I'm going to set that to the side and figure out where I went wrong on that one, because that doesn't belong in this bag whatsoever. But that is living in my Mountain State Stitches bag and all good to go, ready for me to knit on whenever I would like to. So the next project that I have been knitting on has not gotten a lot of love since the last episode, but it has been touched. And that is the project bag here from Unusual Surroundings in my Rugrats bag that I have. It is my orange Musselburgh hat, which is the, what was it, Loops and Threads, I think, maybe? I figured it out last episode. Yeah, this is a size 2 needle. This is correct, at least, for my ChiaoGoo. And this is a 16-inch circumference. But this is a Musselburgh hat. Again, there has not been a lot of progress on this whatsoever. Maybe, yeah, a thumb's width on that. If you can see, right there's the stitch marker. So about a thumb is how much I've knitted on that since last week. So 8 rows. But I love this. It's so soft. This yarn is, this is going to be my hat this fall when I get it finished. If I get it finished before the fall. I should. If I dedicate some time to it, I will get it finished. But this is what I have been enjoying knitting on for pickup and drop off for the children at school. They do not like to sit and wait. I love to sit and wait because I have my knitting with me. So it is the conundrum of patience with children. So that is what is my travel project in my super small bag, so that it's just easy to take along with me. I don't have to worry about it. It's ready to go. Actually, I need to move up that stitch marker so that we know if I've made any more progress between now and the next video. All right, there we go. I moved my stitch marker so that we can continue to keep progress on the hat. Okay, and the final project that I have given love to is the Halloween blanket that I have been making. And I don't know how many squares you guys saw last time, but currently I have finished 17 squares on this blanket. So let me show you what it is looking like for everybody. So the first row starts there with the black, orange, purple, green, and it just repeats all the way down. And I have done 3 repeats of the yarn. So the second row for this blanket has been started, and I have 5 squares done for it. And I think you can kind of see the orange square down here. Yep, that is the 5 squares that I have done. All right, that's the 5 squares that I have done for this blanket. Typically I like to work on it like this because it's a lot easier to work in a vertical row than it is a horizontal row sometimes. So I have all of the yarn all stitched together, and it's just so pretty. And then the next day is going to go right there. It is going to be purple, and the blanket is making its way. I don't know how wide I'm going to make it, because right now I definitely think 3 repeats is enough for the length. But I don't know if I want to do 12 rows. I do want to do 12 rows. That's a lie. I do want this blanket to be gigantic. But if I do that, and it is 12 rows vertically and 12 rows horizontally, double check my math, but I'm pretty sure that's 144 squares. I could be wrong. Actually, Yeah, no, it's 144 squares, which I said I was going to do a square every day in August and every day in September, which if you've already did that math, I've got 17 squares done and it's already the 21st. So I am behind by like 4 days, but we don't tell anybody that because I only show the blanket on TikTok. So nobody knows that secret. Shh. But I have to catch this blanket up for the current amount of days. And then I have to figure out how wide I'm going to make it, because if I truly do make this, 60 stitches would be, what is that, 5 rows across? If I do 12 by 5, that's 60. That might be enough, but I'm not set on it yet. Don't quote me. We are just gonna let it go until the blanket tells me it's big enough. How about that? We'll go until the blanket speaks. But look at that Halloween color scheme. I am in love with this so much. But this blanket is being knit using, nope, it is not being knit. I'm crocheting this blanket. I am crocheting this using a 5mm crochet hook. And I am using 4 colors: peppercorn.com, orange, purple, lime green. Those are the colors for this blanket. And the pattern that I am using, I have been asked this a bit on this blanket and a couple of others, which is the baby blanket that is for baby Tate, the teddy bear looking one, what pattern I actually use. And what I do is a corner to corner square. And that's what it looks like. And since I have gotten so many questions on the pattern that I make, I am going to have a tutorial done next week on the channel for my, I call it a plaid pattern to my blankets. So that's what it's probably going to be. It is going to be my plaid design for my crocheted corner to corner blankets. Now, it's going to be a free tutorial because it's not my original pattern. It's just how I crochet a corner to corner blanket and how I join the squares as I go. I can't attribute one individual person to how I've done this. It's just how I make this blanket. So the tutorial will be up next week, and it is going to show you how I start the blanket, how I join each square, and how I plan my colors for the corner to corner blanket. So I'm excited because that's my first tutorial that I'm going to be posting. So I'm nervous and excited to get that up by next week. I have a little bit of it filmed, but I'm not done yet. It is a work in progress. So next week, you'll also see the start of a new blanket because it'll be used in the tutorial, but it's nothing that's going to be for any purpose. And that's about all I have right now. Is I haven't worked on Tate's blanket but one square, and I haven't done any more cross stitch. I haven't really done much of anything but my socks and my Halloween blanket. So that's what I've been working on. Now for life, reading, watching, updates, and let's roll out. Reading and watching, I am doing a reread of ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have discovered that I can do audiobooks if I have already previously read a book. I'm going to say my favorite way to consume literature is my Kindle. I will read on my Kindle 24/7 if given the chance. My second way to consume it is with a physical book. I don't want to read this one because it's a first print and it's the original cover, and I don't want to bend the spine, and I don't want to mess up my actual physical copies of these books. If I had a different physical copy, like there's a black set at Barnes & Noble that I've got my eye on for Christmas, that I would read the physical book of, because buying them on Kindle when I already own them physically, a little redundant, but it's fun. So this is the physical book of it. I don't like reading the physical book if I have the choice to read it on a Kindle. And then my third option, of course, is audio, because my ADHD brain will hear a sentence and then go off on a tangent while the audiobook is still playing. Then something else will be said and I'll be like, what was that? What did that mean? And I'll get confused. Not my forte. But if I have already read the book, then I can do an audiobook because I'm not as concerned about my brain skipping ahead or skipping off entirely. So that's how I'm consuming this one, is a read along with an audiobook and physically going through the book too. So that's what I'm reading, what I'm watching. Not much of anything. I do want to start a new TV show. Just something that I can watch in the middle of the day. I've been catching back up with Supernatural, but I want to start something new from the beginning. Lots of episodes per season, lots of seasons. I just want to start something fun, new, and get that under my belt and enjoyed. And with life, we are rounding out our first full week of school for the kids. They have enjoyed it so much. It has been so fun for them, and I have enjoyed having them on a routine. It has been tremendous in the mornings for them to wake up and eat breakfast and get out the door. It has also been really nice in the afternoons knowing we have a set schedule in place too. So I love back to school time. My favorite. And that's it. I think we're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to get ready, get this edited and posted, and then go pick up my kids from school because it is Friday and we're just going to enjoy a very rainy day at home. Hopefully letting the weather clear up this weekend so that we can go and enjoy the last little bit of summer that we have before my favorite season officially kicks off in September. But if you ask me, fall's already started, but not according to the calendar. I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you come back next week and watch the tutorial and next week's episode that will probably be on Friday as well, because we have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday and Thursday of next week. So I am going to be a little bit busy next week. So it's probably going to be Friday or Saturday before I get that episode posted. But I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.